Hey everyone, it's Anne Sinclair from Digestive Detective, and today I'm going to talk to you about digestion, and fennel is our digestive tip for today. So fennel is a member of the parsley family, and it's an underutilized herb, I think, for bloating, gas, cramping, all those sorts of things. Traditionally, it's a Mediterranean herb. They think that's where it first started. And it's got the real bulb on the bottom with the celery-like stick that comes up and the little fronds on the edges. So what's so great about fennel? I tend to use a fennel tincture, but fennel seeds are really great too, especially at home when you're looking for something to do when you have gas or bloating or something. So fennel is a fantastic thing to do. So why is fennel so great? It's antispasmodic, so it can help take away the cramping, spasming and pain that you get if you've eaten something that's wrong or you've got food poisoning and stuff, and so that's a way to get rid of that. It's diuretic, so if you feel like you're retaining fluid and you're a little bit puffy, fennel is the right herb for you. So it reduces pain right through the gastrointestinal tract, so from the top to the bottom. So if you've got gas that you feel like is trapped, or you've got pain in the belly, or you've got IBS perhaps, it's a really good herb for that. It can reduce a fever, or help reduce a fever, and what it can also do digestion wise, it can stimulate your digestion, so can help if you're not feeling hungry, it can increase your appetite. One of the other things that it was used for as well is it can help with muscle strains and herniations. So if you're trying to reduce a herniation, fennel seeds taken as a tea is a really good way to do that. So traditionally, it was used for all gastrointestinal systems from the top to the bottom: colic, gas, IBS, reflux, diarrhea, those sorts of things. It was also used to increase appetite and stop food cravings. So having a fennel tea, if you're really craving a sugar biscuit or something, having a fennel tea can sort of take that away. Wheezing, shortness of breath, chronic coughing, asthma can sort of like conditions. The Greeks made a tea from fennel and anise, I think, for all respiratory conditions, and that was their solve all. And so it really works at really reducing a cough if somebody's cough over and over. So it's a good one to use for that. It was also used traditionally, and still is used by herbalists and stuff, for amenorrhea. So amenorrhea is where people don't get a period, and it normally comes from things like too much exercise or hormones being out of whack, those sorts of things. And so it can bring periods back, which is a good thing because you need to have them. The other thing is it's good for period cramps, and it can also help if you're a new mother. Having a fennel tea is a great way to increase your milk during lactation, which can be a struggle for some of us. So, having fennel tea is really an easy way to get that milk producing properly. So one of the other things it was traditionally used for too, and still today you can use it, is make the tea, and it's used for conjunctivitis and blepharitis as well. So if you have either of those two things, you can soak the tea, make the tea, cool it down, get a compress, and then put it over the top of your eyes. And the essential oils in the actual fennel seeds they're antimicrobial and stuff, so they can really help get rid of anything. Especially useful for those eyes that are really irritated by allergy signs. Fennel tea is really great for that. So I love it for Crohn's disease, colic, food poisoning, indigestion. Great if you've got motion sickness and you can't tolerate ginger. I find it really good. And in vomiting. So if you've got a kid that's vomiting, sometimes I'll take, my go-to recipe is apple cider vinegar, but not everybody loves that. Basically when you're feeling sick, because it tastes pretty nasty. So fennel seeds is a really nice alternative to that. So what fennel does in digestion, it helps relax, because our digestive system is a smooth muscle from the top to the bottom. So it just helps relax that smooth muscle. It's called a carminative herb. So that's one of its key functions. So it can help you expel gas, and peppermint is really good for that as well. But fennel is a little bit more digestive and a little bit easier on the system. So it can also help kill some types of gut bacteria that aren't good. So it's useful doing that. Fennel seeds can really reduce intestinal spasms. So sometimes people get, babies especially, colicky babies, they get intestinal spasms. So it's really good to make the tea, let it cool down, and then you can feed that to a baby to help reduce gas and bloating for them. There's been quite a few clinical studies around fennel and the oil and the fennel tea and stuff. It really is beneficial as a tea, much more than a lot of herbs. So drinking it as a tea will get you a really good result. I generally use it as a liquid formula as well. And in one study, they used a combination of herbs with fennel, and they found it far superior to the spasmolytic drug, what was it called, metoclopramide, in relieving pain and nausea and heartburn. So, you know, it just goes to show you that it can be as good as a pharmaceutical if you do it regularly. So to make the tea, basically you get a teaspoon of fennel seeds, put it into a mortar and pestle and crush them up till you break them. Then you can get one of those little tea strainers and pop it into that. Put it in the glass, pour your hot water on it. Now, I like to put a saucer over it because with all those sorts of tea, fennel, basil, peppermint, those sorts of teas, thyme even, they have volatile oils. And as soon as hot water is added to volatile oils, the oils release into the air. So I put a saucer onto it so it stays into the cup. So while you let that steep for 5 to 10 minutes, which is best to do because then you get all those oils come out into the water, and you keep them in the cup if you put a saucer on the top, and then you strain it off, add some more water, and then just sip it till you're done. And then you can, if you do a you can even do a bigger quantity and make a pot and then have it cold throughout the day, which I think is really great because once it cools down, the volatile oils stay in the cup, they don't blow off into the air. You can also make fresh fennel tea, and you can use the leaves. So basically you fill a glass up with, or a cup up with hot water, then you put the leaves in, you let it steep for longer because they are different constituents coming out into the water. Again, I would put the lid on, so 15 to 20 minutes if you're making it with the leaves, and then scoop the leaves out and top it up with hot water, and away you go. You can also do it with the bulb too, and I've never tried that, so but you can chop the bulb up, add the hot water, let it steep for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then take it out. So some cautions: if you have allergies to carrot or celery, because it's from the same family, the Apiaceae family, so if you have allergies to those, probably fennel's not for you either, because you could have a reaction. And the other thing is, don't use it in large quantities if you are pregnant. You can have the odd cup of fennel, but I wouldn't do it over and over. Fennel is one of the easiest things to do. It's one of the best things to do for gas, for reflux. So next time you've got that, it would be worth your while having a go at it. It's easy to have at home. And I think in Turkish restaurants they have the little fennel seeds that they coat in a sugary coating, which they do as an after dinner thing. And the reason they do that is for all those reasons I've just mentioned. They help release gas, and so it's a great thing. So if you've got gas or bloating or anything like that, why not give it a try and let me know how you go. Have a happy Easter everybody, and I will be here next week, and I'll see you then. See ya. Bye.